Welcome to the Masters Park Teen Center. We're doing online videos now to get you guys up to date on all the fun stuff that we're doing here while we're staying safe with COVID. This week is our Vlog-a-ween. If you're staying tuned for that, we're gonna have a lot of fun spooky stuff for you guys to enjoy. This is our pal Nate.
Hi. You may have seen me at the front desk, but I am starting to work at the teen center as well. I'm really excited to get to know you guys and spend some more time.
Our first video for you is going to be myself doing a tutorial on how to turn yourself into a, what would you even call what I made?
That's a good question. It's like,
if you're familiar with the X-Files, I kind of look like a character off of that.
it's true.
But yeah, stay tuned. Fair warning though, blood and gore warning. Heads up.
Just jumping in here, you can see that I've already covered up my eyebrows. The best way to do that is I use Elmer's glue and then I flatten down the Elmer's glue using a spoolie or a spatula or whatever you really have that can work. You're gonna flatten down your eyebrows so that way they're like completely flat against the skin, and you're gonna cover them up with a like dry powder of any kind. You can use eyeshadow. Some people use translucent powder if you have it. But then you slowly just build up liquid latex over top of that, and I'm taking cotton balls over liquid latex and then just slowly adding those layers together and flattening them against my skin. Starting out for this project, I had one of those like scoopers that you use in a pumpkin. I had cotton balls, liquid latex, and I had a ping pong ball and a couple other like random things that I had found around the room that I wanted to try to incorporate into this look. I didn't really have a plan when I started. I was just kind of seeing what I could come up with, and so here is kind of where I went with that. You see I layered up cotton balls and liquid latex to kind of change the shape of my face. So that way, you know, you see like the form is taking where it's making my cheekbones and like the forehead look more prominent. You're just going to keep repeating this process. It took quite a long time to just layer on all of the cotton balls and liquid latex, but you'll find when you're doing it that the cotton balls and the latex actually like morph together and kind of create like a almost rubbery texture that's really easy to work with, and you can smooth it down and try to like make it as flush with your skin as possible. You know, I just was building up the nose there. Taking shapes that way I can slowly start shaping the mouth, because what I did with this design is I ended up creating a very large mouth and adding teeth. It kind of looks like a beak right now, but this is definitely one of those things where you have to trust the process. I'd also just like to recommend, if you're doing this at home, have as much fun with it as you can. It's really cool to challenge yourself and find different odds and ends of stuff that you can use to kind of incorporate into a look and get creative with. Also, if you're doing this at home, I definitely recommend using like a good base coat of moisturizer and a primer, so that way when you go to remove the liquid latex later, it's not as painful to remove. I did not do that, and it was not a fun time taking off, full disclosure. And you'll see here I really just took the ping pong ball, and I ended up cutting the ping pong ball with an X-Acto knife into pieces and using those pieces to kind of create teeth. So it is kind of interesting how you can take random household items that you might have around and turn them into something completely different. So up here I'm going to start kind of taking more shape. I'm going to start filling in the mouth area with dark colors. I started out with like a reddish and then filled it with like black to be like the mouth. You know, you're going to like want to cover your entire mouth with that same opaque color, so that way it'll hide like the optical illusion of your lips. and it'll definitely add like more dimension to the shape that you're trying to make. Now here I'm just making a point to go over all of the cotton balls and the liquid latex with a foundation that will kind of like help even out the tone and the color, so that way it's all like one solid base before I start going in with like eyeshadow and adding more texture and design. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go over the whole face with powder, and what I'm using is a bunch of mixes of like reds and purples to kind of darken the skin and give it more of like a fleshy type of texture. I'm going to fill in around my eyes with black, so that way they look, you know, darker, and it'll add like that dimension. And I'm going to slowly like kind of go all over the mask and add it almost so it looks kind of like, it makes the skin look that dry, burnt texture. And I'm going to slowly just spread that out from my eyes and down my cheeks and around like the bridge of my nose and my cheekbones and eventually all over the face. Just making sure to completely cover my eyelids so that they have that dark opaqueness, and you can't really see my skin as well through it. Now I'm just going to slowly go in and add the teeth. And I didn't have any like lash glue, which would have been a lot easier. If you're doing this at home, I recommend using like a lash glue of some kind. So instead, I was cutting holes in the liquid latex and sliding the teeth in, applying more liquid latex around the outside, so that way it would kind of adhere them more to the prosthetic that's been made. And then I'm going to fill in the lips more and really just kind of touch up all of those areas to give it that dimension and kind of bring it to life. Now, from here on, it's pretty much just adding teeth and adding more layers of color and texture to kind of bring the look to life. So here I'm just again going to go over with like the black color, and now I'm adding some fake blood and just dark reds and purples, and there's the liquid blood that I'm adding now. So I had it originally kind of almost coming through the cracks in my skin because it kind of resembled like a lava monster in a sense. We really didn't know where we were going with this, but I think it came out really well. So you know, you're just going to add blood around the teeth, because obviously if it was eating something, you know, that'd be all around the teeth and the jaw. And so you're just trying to kind of make that blood splatter look as realistic as possible, and just adding it subtly. I didn't want it to be over the top gore, because obviously I am still at work and don't want to scare random people, but you know, it's completely your preference when you're doing this, of like, you know, if you want like the subtle gore, if you want to add more blood or less, or however you decide that you want to make this look your own. But I really like how this turned out, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.